You're watching this because you're interested in reviewing some case studies from Acquisition Network to discover how you can partner with a platform, team, and service to help you to buy a profitable business without doing the work. Everything we do is designed to create a world where buying and selling businesses is as simple and easy as pushing a button. And so everything we do is built around consulting these three parties, right? We consult investors, we help them to acquire companies without them doing the work of finding the deal, networking with lenders or managing the company. We consult consultants and we show highly trained people how to offer value to business owners and to investors. And then we also consult business owners. We help them grow, we prepare them for exit, and we put business owners in position to become investors. Okay, and so we're going to go over these case studies of these completed transactions, right? 18 deals, 3.5 million in down payments, 5 million a year cash flow, 30 mil equity. We're going to go over these stories one by one so you understand the value of hiring our team. So first starts with the Atrice family. They actually had a deal that they've been working on for almost 2 years, and we were able to close this deal in just 4 months. This was a no money down deal, and it was all through negotiation. And this was a trucking company. It was $3 million business, 200K in EBITDA. And the beauty of this is once the Atrice family got into one deal, they were able to get into another one quickly with 1.2 million EBITDA. Okay, and then they're also able to add government contracts to that business to grow as well. Next is Junior Guaze. He acquired a funeral home with a down payment of 125K, purchase price of 2.3 million, and 500K a year in cash flow. So the beauty of this business is it's recession proof, and it's been around for years, and he could run it remotely. He bought this business. It's in Colorado. He's in Texas. It's cash flowing, and now he's able to live his dream of being an entrepreneur. Next is Andrew. This is one of our best case studies. Andrew, he purchased a commercial cleaning company, down payment of 125K, and immediately he was pulling in 39,000 a month. In just 6 months, he's already grown the company by like 25%. He decided to be the manager of this, but he's always able to reach out to us for support and guidance to grow the business. So his anticipation is that the company will double in 3 to 4 years, allowing him to continue to buy a new company every year. Next is John Hilt. He purchased a 37-year-old auto body shop in the middle of Colorado. It has no competitors for about 60 miles. So this deal, he was able to get a 300K down payment through a HELOC. So he actually didn't use his own personal cash. John had been investing into real estate for more than 15 years and was not able to successfully get into acquisitions. He had paid over $100,000 into education and training programs, but was not able to do it himself. So he hired us, and now he's in a deal, 200K annual profit. He did hire managers, so right now he's only pocketing about 4 to 6K a month, but that's actually more cash flow than any of his other real estate properties. And he's working on a roll-up where he buys another 3 to 5 additional companies in the same sector. Next, we have Kim. Kim acquired a daycare. Kim is a physician, so she's really busy, doesn't have time to do all the work of sourcing and all that. And so if you listen to her interview, she'll tell you, yeah, I just literally would not have been able to do this on my own. It did feel weird at first to wire the money, but after working with Scott, working with the team, it's very clear that I'm now in a better position than I'd be with if I tried to do it all by myself. All right, and so Kim, she was able to put 200K down to buy a $400,000 daycare, and that's cashing out $8,000 a month, 100K a year. And the beautiful part is she actually loves kids, so she's getting paid to do what she enjoys. Next is we have 2 case studies on this slide. We have Christian Apollo, who acquired a $3 million medical facility. So he put up a down payment of $250K. That's producing $500K a year in cash flow. So this was a personal guarantee and SBA loan. And that company is being managed by one of our operating partners that we'll go over later. Christian, when I met him, he was on the fence of buying a Cody Sanchez program for 12 grand. We gave him a better deal for a similar price. We created a service for him so that the deal was completely done for him, and now he's receiving over 100% annualized return on his investment. Next is Carl and Reed. So this is a perfect example of why we created the service. Carl and Reed are successful operators. They are contractors that install for like a large like franchise chain. So they're like really busy. They have a great business. They have good money, but they just don't have the time to facilitate the process. And so Carl, he worked with one of our operating partners, Ty, who you'll learn about later, and we were able to acquire Carl and Reed, a pool safety manufacturing company. So that was a $200K down payment, and it's producing $100K a year, completely done for them. Mailbox money. Next is Sonny and Sione. So this family is really high-level corporate professionals, works at some really big companies, and actively wanted to get deals done. They worked with our operating partner, Khalid. They acquired electrical service business. The price was $3 million, down payment of $350K, annualized profit of $500K. So as you can see, guys, a lot of our clients are receiving more than 100% return on their money, plus they're getting appreciation, right? So they're putting up $350K, making $500K a year, but then they have an asset that's worth $3 million. And yes, there's debt on that asset, but that asset can double in size. So you can spend $350K, exit for $6 million while cashing $500 a year. So do $500 a year times 5. That's what? That's $2.5 million plus the exit of the $6 million. You're exiting for $8.5 million on a $350K investment. That's why what we do is life changing, right? Next is Stefan and Edith. So they acquired a custom apparel promotion product company, and the asking price was $695. We closed at $635. Cash at close was $430, and the cash flow is. Sorry, let me pull it up here. Cash flow on Stefan and Edith is net 183. Cool. So 183. Sorry, it's not on that slide for some reason. 183. So they put a down payment of 430, 183 in cash flow. So this is not 100% return. However, it is cashing. This is more of a acquire and hold play with strategic opportunity to grow and scale and to exit. So even though this deal is not producing 100%, there's still tremendous opportunity for these clients to create wealth because they can exit with all of these other clients and get a much higher multiple than they would if they did it on their own. So if you exit on your own, you can exit for 3 to 4x. If you exit in a group, you can exit for 8 to 12x. So they're still putting their money to work. They have an asset under management that can be sold at any time, which is worth more than the cost that they put up. The Hansons, this is actually a really great case study as well. So the Hansons, together, they were making $180 a year annual. By the end of the year, their monthly income will be $80,000 a month, right? And they're doing that because they're going to be acquiring 4 companies this year. So in the interview I did with them, we were going over their home remodeling acquisition. And so for that, it was a down payment of $100K, purchase price of $300, annual profit of $250,000. So like I said, guys, they put down $100K and they're making more than double that annual. It's a home remodeling company, recession proof. People are always going to need their homes to be repaired. And like I said, they didn't stop there on this one deal. They are actively working on closing 3 other deals with our team, which is going to take their income to $80,000 a month. And I apologize, this did translate in the AI, but yeah, their income was $180 a year, went to $80,000. It's going to $80,000 a month. Next is Vitali. So they acquired an HVAC services company. Sorry, he did. Asking price $1.5 million. They closed at 2.6. So that's the beautiful thing about our model, right? The fact that we represent you, the buyer, right? So like buyers hire us because we have your best interest at heart, right? So we do charge an upfront fee, but like the broker is going to charge a percentage on the sale. The broker is going to say this deal is worth 2 mil. We're going to say no, this deal is worth 1 mil, and we support you and represent your interests. And so this is a perfect example of like people, they scoff at this 35K upfront fee, but you could see clearly here we actually saved our client $280,000. So if he tried to do this on his own, he would end up paying 1.5 million. Instead, he saved, what is it? 35 divided by 28. That's a quick math. Like we like 8x the value. Like it's a significant savings, right? The 35K upfront is nothing because we saved him $300,000, almost like 10 times in savings, right? More importantly, Vitali's cash flowing. He's got a business, and he's in a recession proof niche. Like people are always going to need HVAC services, regardless of the economy. There's 14 locations. The owner's staying for 1 or 2 years. It's very stable business. He's cashing, and yeah, like now he's in position to grow and scale his net worth without having to run all the steps on his own. Next, we have Anne. So Anne is this sweet lady from Utah, and so she was actually able to refer friends from her immediate network. So, like one of her clients got a textile manufacturing company, another one got that was Kim, the daycare, and then another one got the construction services business. So and she was able to refer these clients to our service, earning 45K in commissions, but she was also able to lock in annual income from these deals as well by being a partner, right? So you don't have to put up all of your money to participate. You can actually just refer friends and contribute either credit or a portion of the down payment capital to enjoy the revenue. So everything I just went over, those were all investor case studies. Those are case studies of a buyer putting their money to work. They don't have time to do everything. They want to hire us to do it. So next, I'm going to go over consultants. So these are all independent reps, business owners, people that are willing to do the work to learn the process of M&A, who have earned money with me and are building their personal brands and putting them in position to buy businesses and become an investor. Okay, so the first one that I want to go over is Scott. So Scott, he has 15 years in product management. He grew a software company to 28 mil, had no experience in M&A, but 6 months later, he was able to work with my team, and he helped acquire a daycare for Kim, right? So I went over that case study. Scott was the one who actually did it, right? So he earned 25K in closing fees, and now he knows exactly how to do acquisitions himself, but he didn't have to risk his own money. So Scott was able to go from being someone who had no experience to helping Kim buy a business in just 6 months. That's the value of our training. Next is Brian. He was our original operating partner. He had 20 years experience in operations, triple the size of a company called Kinematic. And he joined us in May, and now he's the GM of the $3 million medical practice that Christian acquired. That's managing 1 million in cash flow. He also was the one, as you can see here, there's Brian right there. He's the one who closed the deal for the Hansons, and he's working with 10 other clients. And so the beauty of this consulting model, guys, is for people that are highly trained operators or corporate professionals that are retired, bored, want to get to work. Like, we're building you a consult for equity business where I do the marketing and sales, I get the investors to pay up front and give us the equity, you fulfill, and you can follow the path of Brian, who is now drawing cash flow from multiple businesses without having to sell or market his resume. Next is Ty. He's actually one of the best case studies that we have. He unfortunately got into a bad deal, and he was bankrupt at the time of meeting us. He couldn't get approved for a loan. But 6 months later, he was the one who actually helped acquire the pool safety manufacturing company for Carl and Reed. So reminder, they bought this pool company, right? And I'm sorry, man. Sometimes the AI doesn't transfer everything over. This is the pool safety was a $1.5 million deal, producing 100K in cash flow. Okay, and so the biggest part of this is Ty was able to go from bankrupt, not being able to participate in private equity, to now he is making $4,000 a month from a single client without him putting up credit, without him putting up any capital. More importantly, he has 8 other clients that he's working with, and he anticipates 4 other acquisitions closing before Q4. So you can go from a 1 year being bankrupt to a year and a half making 10, 12, 15K a month through this consulting business without selling anything. Next, we have Andre. So Andre, he had experience in M&A prior to working with us. We didn't have to teach him how to source deals or underwrite, but what we did provide to him was the investors. Once again, we have a network of clients that have paid our service. They're willing to PG the loan. They're willing to make the down payment. And so Andre was able to benefit from this investor network, the fact that I do the marketing and the sales for him. And in 9 months, he was able to get 3 deals done. 1 second. So he was able to get 3 deals done and get back end revenue on 2 of them without putting up his credit and capital. So he's able to draw cash flow from these businesses. And more importantly, he's able to show through his consulting portfolio that he knows how to do deals. And so that makes it easier for him to go get his own clients. That makes it easier for him to grow his team. That makes it easier for him to go raise capital. And it's all built around the acquisition consultant model, right? The consultants, they come in, I bring in the investors, I bring in the support to close. You get access to our software. We make money together. Cool. Next is we have Khalid. So he's got a great resume, right? Khalid, 12-year equity partner, Ernst & Young. He was closing some of the largest transactions in the world, billion-dollar deals. But what he did not have experience with prior to working with us is closing small business acquisitions. And so in just 7 months, he was able to complete 3 acquisitions on behalf of our clients. So this is really important to him because he demands a very high salary in the corporate world. He was making $50,000 a month at EY, and he does have plans of going back to corporate for at least 2-3 years. But in this year, he was able to add invaluable skill sets to his Rolodex because now he's able to consult investors anywhere from 1 million to 100 million to billions. And so he has full intentions of creating his own consulting firm. And the experiences that he's had with us has allowed him to be more diverse, be able to take on more clients, and have a bigger role in the marketplace. And so if you're a corporate professional, you have a lot of experience working at big companies, you're going to find that it's not as easy to do it without having a process in the SMB market. And so Khalid is a perfect testimony of someone who has successfully done it in corporate. And to be honest, in the beginning, he didn't understand how to do it on the small business side. And now, as a part of our network and our team, he does know how to do it. He has closed 3 transactions. He has that on his portfolio, and he could use that to enroll new clients and to get more team members into his network. And so one of the people he was able to learn from was David, right? So David didn't work corporate. David has personally bought a business every year for the last decade. And so David is head of M&A for Acquisition Network. And so he's the final decision maker on all the deals that we do. So he was able to help Khalid, who had experience working with the big companies, with closing small companies. Now, how I'm consulting David is through the marketing system. So David, he knows how to do deals. He doesn't need my help with deal sourcing. He doesn't need my help with lending, but he's still getting consulted by my system. Why? The reason why he decided to join is because of leverage. He's got an 8-figure portfolio, but what he doesn't have is 80 investors that have paid up front, are willing to PG the loan and make the down payment. He doesn't have a marketing system that brings investors to his front door on a daily basis. He doesn't have a software tool that aggregates deal flow and underwriting and introduces him to new lenders and operating partners. So the reason why David partnered up with us, even though he already has an 8-figure portfolio and knows how to do M&A better than me, is because of the marketing system. If he wanted to go build this business on his own, it would cost him millions of dollars and years of his life and hours of his time that he doesn't have to spend because he has 4 kids and he wants to enjoy his life with his wife. And so I'm able to consult him the same way I'm consulting these other people because he has invaluable expertise, and I'm able to help distribute that expertise to businesses and investors without him having to market his resume, without him having to do interviews, without him having to go to a private equity group and just sign up for a salary. Instead, Dave is able to earn equity. He's able to earn rev share through his consulting services. He's going to be able to participate in additional entities, right? So he has equity in the software company, but we're also raising for our private equity group and our lending. He's able to participate in all of these fields, right? And so if you are a highly trained M&A consultant, if you're someone who has experience in doing deals like David, you're someone who would benefit from this because you don't have a marketing system like mine. You don't have a process where consultants are paying you to work for you. You don't have 1,500 interns working on commission. You don't have a software tool that's proprietary that is revolutionizing the way that deals get done. So David decided to give his time, his energy, and effort to the company because he could clearly see the value that we're able to provide that he is unable to do on his own, or it doesn't want to do on his own. It's just too much money, time, energy, and effort for him to spin up a software consulting company from scratch. So the benefit, this is I'm sticking on this case study because the benefit is David has made money with us through salary, through equity, through referrals. He's also met invaluable lenders to help him with his own personal acquisitions, right? Because the more lending options someone like David has who owns 10 companies, the more deals he can get done. And so through my marketing system, he's able to get these resources, right? The fact that I record all the calls and I have all these different products and I constantly bringing in new relationships, he doesn't have to do all that. He gets to benefit, sit back, be an expert, and put his knowledge and resources to work. Next is Corey Call. So he's another perfect example of a consultant that's benefiting from our platform and service. So Corey was one of the early consultants. He got in for just 5K. Since then, he's probably made 40, 50K or more in fees, but also has received invaluable network contacts, relationships, which has put him in position to now be an investment banker who works for a firm that's done billions in transactions. And so he's actually spearheading $100 million raise for us so that obviously he gets paid by his bank for that. But when that liquidity is made available, he's going to be on our side as well to facilitate the process to help complete transactions on behalf of our clients. So he's actually provided invaluable strategic guidance to the closing of these 14 deals. He's often supporting David and Jim. And yeah, he gets clients now. He gets access to my team who is, hired his investment bank for a $100 million raise. And he's going to get more referrals through the network without him marketing, without him selling. He put up 5K to join the network. And like I said, his money has grown hand over fist and will continue to get referrals without him having to sell anything. Next is Chris. So Chris was actually the original consultant. So I keep going back to the diagram because to me it's everything, right? So for those who don't know my background, I'll tell the story. People are like, how'd you get into this? So before this, I was running an agency where I was helping people start online companies, like Amazon, eBay, Shopify, Walmart, Airbnb, trucking, YouTube. And then I got hired by a private equity group to sell a course to teach people how to buy businesses. And that course was called the Hanson Club, and it was 26K. And the premise of the course is it was you pay 26K, you bring deals to the investors, you get 40%, right? And people didn't want to buy the course. And I was doing marketing, I was calling people, I was trying to sell the course, and Chris was the first M&A guy that came in and was like, Ryan, I'm going to help you fulfill to these customers. Chris worked at a large QSR. He completed over 150 acquisitions, creating $750 million in enterprise value. So he knew exactly how to facilitate the process of sourcing, underwriting, vetting deals, and completing transactions. And so Chris was, like I said, the first M&A advisor that joined the team. If it wasn't for Chris, all those other advisors I mentioned wouldn't have come in. And yeah, he was able to partner with me, and he was earning salary of up to 10K a month at some points. He's probably made, I don't have the accounting from me, but he's made 180, 220 in fees. He's also earned equity in the platform and put himself in position to receive clients once again without him doing sales, without him doing marketing. I have the investors who pay up front. Chris does the closing, and now he gets to grow his career without doing interviews, without sending out his resume, and now he's a part of something again. Right? He was in a big organization where there was tons of support and team, and it was really hard for him doing it all on his own. He left that big organization because he just felt like he wasn't getting valued. And now with what we've built, we have an infrastructure, we have a support system, we have a network to help him to get his own deals done, while also allowing him to earn consulting fees on the expertise that he spent years of his life developing. Next, we have Steve, CFO. So he completed a $1.2 billion roll up for Coca-Cola. And the reason why Steve is a successful case study is because, quite frankly, he was struggling to complete small business acquisitions on his own, similar to Chris, similar to Khalid, who had a lot of backing and support through a big organization, found it much more difficult to do this on his own. And so he had spent like 2.5 years trying to get a deal done unsuccessfully. Now he joined our network. He was able to earn equity in the platform. He's earned like 65K in consulting fees over the years. But most importantly, he now has an infrastructure that's put him in a position to get deals done. Like, to be frank, like he, unfortunately, like, because he was used to doing things corporate, he burnt through a lot of money in due diligence that he didn't have to do. He wasn't aware of that before meeting us. So now, instead of him burning 35K in quality of earnings per deal that falls through, he can actually just run the deal by David, who has personally bought 10 businesses. And so Steve, once again, has earned money by being a consultant, earned equity, and now has infrastructure to complete transactions. Another consultant for us is Femi Palmer. Femi is he owns a venture studio and he grows startups, consulting companies, and he does like go to market for a lot of businesses. But we were actually able to help him to acquire 2 companies with no money down through our system. He did source these deals on his own, but we were able to negotiate and close them for him so that he was able to add these software products to his business, making him more profitable while also giving him more resources that he can provide to each individual client. Now, the other unique opportunity and use case for Femi is the fact that he has become an affiliate consultant. So he's actually white labeled our software platform and is also white labeling his B2B platform, right? So he has 55 different products and services to offer to businesses to save them money, make them more profitable, and encourage them to join our community. And so that white label platform will now be made available to all of our consultants, as well as like our platform will be made available to his consultants. And the end result is going to be more relationships, more deal flow, more lenders, more leverage. And so the power of the acquisition consultant model is it really doesn't matter what your background is. It really just comes down to like who you are, what resources do you have, who do you have in your network, what are you willing to contribute, and how can we work together to start making more money. Next is we have Nick Troy. And I'm sorry we didn't get the photo of JT for some reason. So there's 2 on here. JT, he's been an operating partner with us for about 9 months, and he also invested 50K in the company. The reason why he invested 50K in the company is because he saw like the golden opportunity to be a part of something big and to provide like an altruistic vision and support to humanity. Like he has spent a lot of time like working overseas in third world countries, and he's seen the impact of like economic gentrification and how that like has prevented people from succeeding. And so JT, like he's built a bunch of software companies. He saw the writing on the wall. He's been working with our clients for 9 months. He's got 4 companies under LOI. And yeah, so now he knows how to do the entire M&A process on his own. He now has equity in our platform as well for, seeing the value of what we're doing. So he put 50K in. He now owns shares. Scott invested too, by the way. Scott owns shares too. So these guys invested, 50K. My company, we invest 100K a month, and we use that 100K a month to develop deal flow, find lenders, complete transactions, and that is going to result in appreciation, right? So as we do more deals, the encouragement to raise capital for the platform will grow, right? So right now we're at 10 million valuation. So this company is easily going to grow from 10 to 20 to 30, 100, right? And so their equity is going to grow, but he's also getting resources. He's getting access to my investors. He's getting my lenders. He's getting deal flow. And so, yeah, JT is a great example of, seeing the value of what we've built, growing his professional career, He now knows how to complete small business acquisitions. He has access to my like one of my clients completed an 8-figure exit, and was a chief legal officer of a publicly traded company. So like, what is the value of having that type of relationship? Like, that's what you get when you become a consultant. I've done the marketing. I have the people signed up. You fulfill and you add value. The next case study is Nick Troy. So Nick is a seasoned banking professional and credit strategist. So he negotiated a 10K rev share on the platform by committing a 650K line of credit to the company. And so he has put himself in position to at least double his money in 12 to 36 months. He's regularly getting commissions every week from our marketing. Historically, like if you look at my what I've done anywhere from 12 to 21x over the last 6 years. And that's going to grow significantly because we're about to launch our subscriptions where we're going to be charging, a monthly fee just to access the platform. And so all of these leads that he's paying for that aren't getting closed on our high ticket services, he's going to make money on, and he's going to get evergreen cash flow. But the other benefits, obviously, is just being in the network, getting access to our lenders, meeting the investors, getting the products that he can use to grow his business. So he's always had a desire to grow a B2B platform. And guess what? We have it done for him. He didn't have to build it himself. It's already here in place. We have 55 different products that he could offer as a small business banker. He's always talking to companies. He's always referring services. And so now we have all of that in place for him. And like I said, he could just invest, put his money to work, and grow his professional career. Okay. Sorry, guys. I have to get some water. Next, as a consultant case study, we have Ty Richardson. So Ty Richardson is a commercial lender with 3 PhDs, and he's a product market expert, helping coaches scale their info product business. So he plugged into the network, and he's getting significant value, right? He's getting equity in the platform. He's getting the referral fees of all of these loans, right? So he is the lender. So we've directed 30 million in transaction fees. He's getting a portion of all that. I believe it's like 2% of all fees. So do the math on that. Quick math. Right. I'm sure he has to split it. So if that's the case, like he's made like probably like 120 in fees because I'm sure he has to split the 2% across his team. But the value, the benefit is he's getting lending clients, right? Like we're deploying millions of dollars, right? And he's aggregating all the lending. We have the down payments, we have the PG, and he's getting paid on all that, right? And so he doesn't have to go market and sell his resume. He doesn't have to go find new buyers or talk to brokers. He just like wakes up, opens up his desk, and there's literally business LOIs and deals waiting for him. So once again, guys, people are investing as a consultant because I've got a proven marketing system. The reason why I have to charge you as a consultant is because finding these buyers is not free. Finding these business owners are not free. I'm spending $30K a month in marketing. And so it's proven that these leads are rendering a result, and that's why I have to charge you, the consultant, right? And that's why I'm going over the case studies of the people that I've helped, the lives that have been changed. Next is Zach and Jim. So for some reason, the images didn't go over, so I'll go to the other deck. So first we'll go with Zach, right? Zach's a CPA. He's got, a lot of experience in finance and underwriting, but we didn't do prior to working with us is know how to complete a small business acquisition. In just 3 months, he was able to learn the entire process of buying a business for investors from start to finish. And now he has several clients that he's working with. But more importantly, he's now getting fees every time we complete a transaction. We're going through him as a CPA. So he's made probably 15, 20K in fees easily over this year, passively, without having to market and sell his resume, without having to do interviews, without him running around and doing anything. So I think you guys are starting to get the point, right? Like the reason why you, the consultant, subscribe to my platform, I'm spending $30K a month to bring in investors and businesses. All of these consultants will tell you that they've got value for investing into the company and that you would get value too because Ryan knows how to market and connect people, right? And so the next case study is Jim. Jim is right my COO, right? So he's actually one of my earliest investors, right? So when I met Jim, he recently retired because he grew a company to 200 mil, and he was adding 8 million in EBITDA to the bottom line of the company, and they gave him a $30,000 bonus, and that's when he knew he had enough, and so he left. And he was actively reviewing franchise opportunities. He looked at like 36 different opportunities. And I said, dude, you should come in as an operator. You've got a lot of experience growing companies. I know how to sell stuff. I've got a great business, and I need people to run it. And so Jim put in 50K. After 8 days of meeting me, he went on vacation. And he's earned anywhere from 5 to 10,000 a month every month since he's invested. So it'll be 3 years in August. So he's probably pulled out 280, 300K on a 50K investment while getting 5% equity in the business. That was at a $500,000 valuation. Now we're at a $10 million valuation. So his company, the value of his money has grown by 20 times. And he's also 6x his investment into the company. And also, more importantly, he now knows how to complete small business acquisitions. Literally, he was a part of 68 acquisitions for a large corporation, but he didn't know how to do it on his own. And so after working with David, after working with our clients, working with the team, he now knows how to do deals. And he's able to, like, if he wanted to quit this company and not work with it anymore, he would know exactly how to replicate the service, exactly how to charge a buyer up front and get equity on the back end using his expertise, right? And so that's like the biggest value that we're providing with this consultant model is we're helping highly trained operators like Jim add value to their skill set. And so I've had multiple conversations with people that have a resume just like Jim this week alone, like people who've grown big companies, people who are retired, are bored, and I'm trying to explain to you, I beseech to you, I'm like, look, guys, become a consultant, become an acquisition consultant. I've got investors who are paying us up front to give us equity and cash flow from their deal using their money and their credit, and I can plug your resume into my proven marketing system, just like Jim, just like all these other people that I've been mentioning. There's so many people, right? Subscribe, become a consultant. I'm going to bring investors. I'm going to bring companies to you so you can profit and grow your career. All right, so that's another great case study. Next is we have Amy and Angie. So Amy, high ticket closer, working in like alternative investments. She's probably earned like more than 55K in fees. And the biggest thing that she got, and I'm sorry I don't have the picture. I'll try to find her on this other slide. The biggest thing that Amy got was having a vetted company that she could trust to refer her business to. I'm sorry, I didn't pull up Amy's picture. But the problem with selling like high ticket investments is not everything always works out. Now, the beauty of working with us is she sees the transparency. She sees the trust, right? Like I record all of the calls. Like no company that takes in money like mine records everything, offers complete transparency, and no company has like a full thesis outlining like, hey, like this is how we're going to go public and create a $1 trillion organization to render poverty obsolete. So when you're referring a client to a company that has like that level of transparency, the fact that we record everything, we have a full thesis, that's how Amy was able to have the confidence to refer people and earn money along the way and put her clients in position to be a part of something big. Another case study is Angie. So Angie, she's been working in HR, former military veteran, looking to transition to life coaching and independent consulting. She plugged into the system, and she's earned well over 150K in consulting fees. She is our customer success manager. So her responsibility is to make sure that you're actually getting what it is that you want with the business. But more importantly, she's learning M&A. She's learned so much in the last 60 days on completing acquisitions to the point that she can literally consult an investor herself. All right. And so that's the beauty and the value of the network and the consulting model is it really doesn't matter what your skill set is. You don't have to be an expert M&A professional. You don't have to be a marketer. You don't have to be a salesperson. You can be a HR professional, and we could put you to work. We could put your resume, plug you into the marketing system, and make you money in this game. And so you don't make money right away. You have to get in where you fit in. But as the company grows and as you add value, you make more money. Okay, and so I apologize. I forgot to make a slide for Nicole. She's actually like one of our best case studies as well. So Nicole is she's one of our early operators. She grew a company from 1 to 125 million in 4 years, leading a global tech firm. And so Nicole was able to successfully complete 3 acquisitions on her own prior to meeting us. And now the reason why she worked with us is because client it was hard for her to find her own clients. She has a great resume. She was tired of working corporate. She didn't want to keep doing interviews. And once again, she became a consultant, and now she's working with 8 different clients. She's got 4 companies under LOI set to close, but more importantly, Nicole was able to earn equity in the company. She's also able to earn so far as like $35K in fees without marketing or selling her resume, without having to interview. She comes in, works with us, leverages the expertise that she already has. She already knows how to buy businesses. She knows how to help other people buy businesses. She knows how to teach people how to buy businesses. So if you're someone who has this experience, you can follow the path of all these other consultants that have successfully came into my network. They invested their time, energy, and effort to become a consultant, and they have received money by working with my investors' companies, right? So I think you're starting to see a pattern here. Moving along. Unfortunately, the photos didn't transfer for this one either. This one, guys, this is always a great case study. And when I'm on my sales calls and I'm explaining to people why they should become a consultant, and they're like, hey, how are you different than a course? And I'm like, dude, there's people like charging you for a course, how to buy a business with no money down. They're charging like 12 grand to like give you videos, and you have to do it all on your own. Whereas with the acquisition consultant model, I am teaching you how to start a business that helps you buy businesses by leveraging other people's time and money, right? So like I've gone over many times, 80 investors plus that have hired us to find the deal, PG the loan, make the down payment, and give us equity. But the biggest thing that I don't see anybody teaching is the recruiting, right? A lot of you are like looking to buy a course, spending all of your time trying to create wealth. I've mastered the ability of borrowing other people's time to create wealth. And so that is something that Jordan has done really well as well. So like I was doing interviews, this kid is 19 years old and he had 30 other interns on his deal flow team. All right. And so Jordan was able to negotiate a multiple 6-figure consulting contract from us because he's building out a software that is going to allow us to manage 1,500 interns through the system, where the interns are going to be able to bring in deals, evaluate it, get it underwritten. It goes directly to our lender. The intern is going to be able to leave a review, engage with our content, which is going to drive engagement and growth to the platform. So, like I said, this guy, Jordan, is 19 years old. He's negotiated a 6-figure fee. It's a lot of it is deferred, but he's going to make a lot of money with this company. And he's also learned a lot. He's building software with David. He's working with Nicole. He's getting letters of recommendation to grow his corporate career so that he can continue to climb the ladder. We're actually consulting him on his marketing and sales because he has his own software company that he needs help with. And we're actually going to be acquiring his business as well. So he is a successful founder, 19 years old, already completed an exit, building us a product, negotiated a 6-figure deal, driving and leading hundreds of interns to work for you if you're an investor, or to work for you if you're a consultant, right? That's the biggest thing I'm trying to explain to people is, some of the senior consultants don't want to roll up their sleeves and do all the work. Don't worry about it. We can get the interns to do the work for you. You become the front face that is managing the clients, and we all get to do more transactions together. Okay, so it's really all about how do you fit in into the network. So shout out to Jordan. Next is Brendan, right? So Brendan is actually our developer of our software. And so you could be like, well, Ryan, how is our software developer a case study? He's a case study because he's an investor. He's got a bunch of real estate. And in just 60 days, he was able to learn exactly how to buy a business, to the point that he was able to build us this software tool. And all these calls that he's been having with my M&A team, right? He was able to build out this whole back end from the AI tools for the SIM analysis, the deal memo, the data room, but most importantly, the due diligence tab, right? So he has built in the 85 steps required to complete a transaction. So he now knows exactly how to complete a deal on his own. And more importantly, he doesn't have to do it. He doesn't have to figure out how to buy a business on his own because he has a team. right? He has a network, right? So he has real estate. He has the ability to do deals on his own. So to be clear, he's earning fees as a software developer. He's earning equity through his labor, but he's also earning referrals, right? There's already 4 people that have asked him to build an app through my network simply because he built an app for me. And once again, that's the value, right? That's why we charge people to become consultants, because I have a proven marketing system that brings in investors, brings in companies, but also brings in other consultants to help you sell your services. So you don't have to keep selling your resume, jumping on interviews, and marketing, selling yourself. And so, other cool part of this case study, which is not done yet, is Brendan's father is actually like this big time VC that works at a company called Khosla Ventures. And so, once again, that's the value of our network. The fact that we have so many relationships is you as a consultant, investor, or company, you come in and validate it. We continue to record all the calls. We are working actively to raise 100 million plus for this software. And when that happens, everyone benefits. Cool. I'm going to take a quick swig of water, guys. We're almost done with the consulting case studies. I think you can see I've been helping a lot of consultants in a bunch of different ways. They all have different backgrounds and they're all making money. Next is Luke. So I actually helped Luke make his first couple multiple 10K months. And so how I did that is I taught him my proprietary acquisition consulting model, how I convert buyers to become clients. And so before meeting me, Luke was working at a call center. He was like doing lead gen for buy-to-let properties, not making a lot of money, not having fun. And now, like I said, he was able to earn multiple 10K months and be in position to continue to grow his consulting business, work with more established companies, and to learn M&A, right? So that's the thing I want to explain to people is you could be a sales guy and just focus on the sales. You don't have to like learn all of the underwriting. If you can focus on selling the other buyers like I've been able to do, then you can facilitate the process and be a part of our organization and get deals done. Okay, so that's Luke. Next is Dylan. So Dylan, he had a lead gen company that wasn't very profitable. It was called Pillar Sales. The premise of that company is he would like generate qualified appointments on LinkedIn. He was my original like integrator operator guy who like built my websites and CRM, and I was able to teach him the system, right? The system of Dylan. There's investors, there's companies, and consultants, and you need to be able to offer services to all 3 parties. At the time, he was only offering services to business owners, which was stagnating his income. So he changed his business model where he offered services to investors as well, and that allowed him to create a $2 million e-com company, right? And so he was able to do that with Satchet. So I did the same thing with him. Satchet, his background was like affiliate marketing, posting a lot of content. So he would do like sales for businesses, but his income was limited. And so what I was able to do was teach him how to consult investors. And so he was able to start that company with Dylan and create a $2 million a year company. And so that business has been running for 5 years now. And he's much more successful, happier as a product of the training. And so another example of a consultant that's made money with me is Chris. Chris is an affiliate marketer who's made well over 100K with me on multiple campaigns. Once again, it's these guys are these recent case studies are salespeople, right? So I'm teaching them how to convert buyers, and this is really important because people don't know how to convert buyers the way that I do, right? The biggest objection to our service is that a broker will literally offer the same service at no money out of pocket. Now, I've been able to teach these people how to overcome this objection by explaining to them, like, look, the broker represents the seller. It doesn't represent the investor. If this deal falls through and it's a scam, then the investor loses all their money. The broker doesn't help with management. The broker doesn't help with due diligence. It doesn't help with lending, AI tools. It doesn't have a social marketplace to aggregate. The broker doesn't help with exit, right? And so that's why we charge up front. And so being able to explain that value proposition, these sales guys have been able to do that and earn commissions while building relationships with high net worth people. So I'm sure if you're still watching this video, there's been a time where you've come across with somebody that has way more money than you, and you were trying to figure out a way to add value to the conversation, but you were unable to do so. the acquisition consultant model will teach you how to offer value to investors so you can earn commissions by plugging them into our proven service. So like I said, Chris has made well over 100K with me over the course of 2 years. Another case study is Jared. So before working with me, he was working in Verizon as a manager. He's making like 60,000 a year. He's had multiple 20K months with my system, and was able to translate the experience to becoming an executive recruiter. So he's never gone back to corporate. He's never had to go physically clock in at 9 to 5. He now knows how to make money online by referring talent and or converting investors, right? And so that's, once again, the value of the acquisition consultant model, because guys, like, this is a glorified recruiting system and service, right? The fact that I have like the 1,500 interns that applied to work on commission, and I have this team that's completed billions of transactions, I recruited them, right? So Jared was able to learn the skill of sales, but then convert that to recruiting, which is a highly paid skill as well, right? And so that's how we're able to help people start their own M&A advisory business from scratch, because we have the senior team, we have the investors for the down payment, we have the ability to recruit talent and the lenders. So shout out to Jared for making that transition. Another case study is Jeff. So he had a failed moving business and was out of work. He never made money online. And then over the summer, he made over 100,000 in commissions, and he was able to start his own consulting business where he's able to consult investors, like I've been saying. Right, there's a bunch of high net worth people that want to be able to deploy the capital and create cash flow. And now Jeff knows how to offer these services and participate in mergers and acquisitions without him having to be the knowledgeable one, right? Me, Ryan, the founder of the company, I have not evaluated any of the deals, any of the underwriting or any of that, but I sit at the top because I'm able to drive traffic, I'm able to generate revenue and book appointments. So all of these recent case studies have the same skill set, right? Luke, Dylan, Chris, Satchet, Jared, Jeff, these are all sales and marketing professionals that have earned money by offering services to investors, and they're able to scale and facilitate the process of getting more clients into the system rather than working with brokers that charge that back end fee. So similar story with Jacob. He earned $60,000 in commissions with me in 90 days. He created his own lead gen pipeline to sustain his remote 6-figure lifestyle. He has his own consulting business. He doesn't have to work for anybody. Next is Alex. So he's been making $10,000, $20,000 a month for over 12 months. It's probably been a year and a half at this point. His best month was $32,000 in commissions. And like I said, guys, this is all built upon teaching these guys how to offer services to investors. All right. It can't be me, Ryan, the founder, selling every day forever. I've been able to prove through these guys that the ability to convert investors to get them to pay up front is replicatable and scalable. And so as more consultants learn this model, the premise of offering services to investors, as more consultants learn this model of offering services to businesses, the more data that comes to the platform and the faster it is going to be to complete transactions for everybody. Okay, so moving on. We're almost done, guys. Home stretch is the case studies of businesses, right? So I've been going over for quite some time. All of these case studies have been investor case studies and then consultant case studies. Now I'm going to go over how we've grown companies, right? And so here are the results. You can see like 200K into marketing, 4.3 million in revenue, 21x ROAS. So you can see here, like this was an e-com company in England, generated 270,000 in 3 months, 2 million gross revenue. We've got another e-commerce company. We put 10K into marketing, generated 387,000 in 4 months. Right. And so with this model, I was hired to do growth marketing. So I get paid 25K to start, and I would generate the lead, bring in the sales team, and get 30%. So another one, e-commerce, we spent 20K into marketing. We generated 440,000 in 120 days. Another one is a trucking company. We spent 32,000 in marketing, generated 1.2 million in revenue. That was my biggest case study, 34x in revenue. And yeah, so like that. The reason why I left this model is because you can see here, right? Like this company would get 900,000, I would get 170,000. And so I saw the golden opportunity of like being able to generate this revenue through my own system that buys businesses on behalf of other people. And so like I said, I've been turning money over successfully for years, right? So here's the stats on the Facebook ads. You can see like 164 spent, millions of impressions, profitable cost per lead, doing this for years, guys, right? Um, and so this was the final case study, the Hanson Club, right? We generated like 1.1 million in payments for that last case study. Okay, and so to summarize, guys, like I've got the track record of growing companies through sales and marketing, but if you look at the resumes of my team, they have even better case studies in terms of growing companies, right? Like David has personally bought 10 businesses, Junior $6 billion at Goldman Sachs. Jim grew a company from 20 to 200 million in 4 years, managing 450 locations in 30 countries. Steve, $1.2 billion role at Coca-Cola. Khalid, 12-year equity partner, Ernst & Young, right? Brian's tripled the company. Nicole grew a company from 1 to 125 mil. Scott grew a company from 400K to 28 mil. Ty has 15 years in operations experience. If you look at more people on my site, like my media buyer manages 10 million a month. My email marketer sends out 21 million emails a month. We have all the resources. We have all the connections, all the relationships in regards to growing a business, right? And so that's the final thing that we have not done in terms of marketing on our platform is running ads directly to business owners. And so that when that happens, that's going to result in more deal flow, more consulting case studies, more commissions for the consultants that are subscribing with us. And so I hope you got a lot of value out of seeing how this all works, understanding that there is no social marketplace for buying companies. Like we created this app, this platform where everything's in one, where we have the deals, we can schedule meetings with one another. There's a B2B portfolio of services. There's a way for us to schedule meetings with one another, book directly with our coaches. Everything is built into the software, and it's going to get better and better. But I think we all can agree that there's not a single company on the planet that has the software that I just outlined with the combination of case studies helping investors, consultants, and businesses. And so if you're still watching this and you saw value out of this, I'm hoping this is enough for you to see where you can fit in. It doesn't matter who you are, how much time or money you have. The acquisition consulting model and the acquisition network was built for you. We are fighting a war against poverty. I genuinely believe that technology can be used to render poverty obsolete. It is my goal to create a publicly traded tech company that allows retail investors to own the infrastructure. And it's the most important invention ever created, in my opinion, because it's the first invention designed to transfer economic power from the elite to the middle class. There's multiple trillion-dollar organizations that exist to this day, and all of them are creating consumers. There's not one publicly traded tech company that helps shareholders to become asset owners, to become investors, to become a part of the elite class. And that's exactly what we aim to do. There's never been a technology company that has this unique combination of technology stack, from deal sourcing, underwriting, to a social media to reach 5 billion people, a blockchain to decentralize ownership. There's no invention stack that has ever existed, right? This is why, in my opinion, this is the most important invention ever created. All of these other inventions have restricted access to power, right? If you look at the steam engine, electricity, the automobile, like they created oligopoly. They created, monopolies, right? Like the internet, like a very small concentration of companies like get to profit off of all of these, right? Smartphone, like there's very few companies running the smartphone industry. What we're providing is the ability for retail investors to own the infrastructure to automate acquisitions worldwide. Like it's comparable to the railroad. Okay, we think of it this way, right? Before the railroad, it took 6 months to go out west. It costed $30,000. You were 10% likely to die, and yeah, it was a great opportunity. People wanted to go out west to get gold, to get land. And after the railroad, it took 7 days, $65, and the entire economy surged. America became a global superpower, and that's because the railroad provided the opportunity to democratize access to land. We are doing the same thing for business acquisitions. We are democratizing access to private equity by connecting investors, consultants, and business owners to do deals, because the current system does not work. Biz buy sell doesn't work. The brokers don't work. $90 trillion is changing hands over the next 20 years. 80% of companies listed for sale never close. 96% of first-time buyers never get a deal done. And 60% of sellers don't have an exit strategy. There is a need for a $1 trillion organization that democratizes access to private equity, that aggregates the data on behalf of investors, companies, and consultants. And so if you believe that technology can be used to render poverty obsolete, schedule a free consultation today. I hope you got great value out of seeing our case studies, and I will gladly share this with you. And so you can review all the lives that have been changed through this proprietary system. You can't make it up. Reach out to any of these people on Facebook, on LinkedIn, email them, find them, and they will all sing the praises of Acquisition Network. They will say that we are creating a technology that is going to change the course of human history and that you need to be a part of it. There's proven results. There's a rendered system. There's a process in place that will continue to improve. And if you believe in what we believe, the future of doing business is now. Join us today.